Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get this steering wheel collar off. You want to get this off for, several reasons. The number one reason is someone wants to replace the steering wheel with a nicer one. You got to get that collar off to get the rest of the stuff off. You can replace the airbag by getting the collar off, going back there. If you break this turn signal stalk, which is becoming very common, those things are breaking down in there. You want to get it off to replace that. And you only have to take this collar off. You do not have to take the steering wheel off to replace this. You could replace this stalk here for the wipers, front and rear for the wagons, just by taking this collar off. You could take the steering wheel off to get to the clock spring if your clock spring is giving you bad airbag warning, SRS light, and you coded it and it's this clock spring. You can take this collar off to pull the airbag out so you can fix the stuff so your horn could work. Again, change the steering wheel. So you got the two stalks, the clock spring, the steering wheel, the airbag. Those are things you want to get this collar off for. You only need two tools to get the steering collar off and to get the turn signal stalk or the wiper stalk off. You need a long T15 driver. I bought this screwdriver specifically to get this collar off. It is 4 inches long. It's got to be at least 4 inches long. This one almost shanks out getting the screws out. Or you can get a extension like this, which is about 6 inches. Then you'll need a T25. T25 don't have to be long, but you want it to have a little bit of reach, 3 inches or so, to get the screws out of the turn signal stalk or the windshield washer stalk. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how far this goes in there with the collar on. First thing you want to do is put your key in the ignition and straighten out the steering wheel as best you can. Release the tilt wheel adjustment and pull the steering wheel towards you so that it's clear of everything. Pretty easy to do. It goes up and down. A lot of people don't know that. Anyway, next let's go ahead and get these first two long screws. The collar is held on by 4 screws. You got 2 T25s right there, and these T15s are all the way up in there. Oh wow, I didn't know you could actually see them. So what I do is I stick the screwdriver up in there and I bump around until I feel it. I can feel the head of the screw. I turn the screwdriver a little bit until I get it to fall on the screw. It's like a fishing expedition trying to get this driver on these screw heads. I think I got it on there, and I screw it out. Got about a ½ inch to spare with this thing. You'll feel it when it comes all the way out. Lower it down, and that's the screw there. I'm gonna get the other one, and then I'm gonna pull these 2 screws with a T25. After you get those first 2 screws out, the T15s, you can actually lift the top of this collar off and move it out of the way and see things down in there. This is the top screw for the turn signal stalk. This is the top screw for the windshield wiper stalk. And to get to the other one, you have to pull the bottom of the collar off, so you need to take those 2 T25s off the bottom. So I use that to get the 2 T25s off. You don't want to tighten these too tight. And they're the same size screws that hold your rear wing on your brackets. Now that the top is moved out of the way, you can pull the bottom down out of the way. Like I said, it's better with the steering wheel straight. And just work it out and down. Take 2 hands, work this down, work this side over your keyhole. And if you lift the steering wheel up, it comes out real easy. And there you have it. Now you have full access to your steering wheel stalk, your ignition switch, and your wiper stalk. Then if you turn your steering wheel, top of it towards the door over there, you can get behind it and get the airbag off with the 2 T30 screws, and then you'll have access to the big nut behind the airbag to take the steering wheel off if you want to take the steering wheel off. I'll get that another time, show you that video. Again, here you take a T25, you take this screw loose, you take the screw above it loose, and you could unscrew this stalk. Then you could lift this turn signal stalk away from the steering column. You got a plug here for the turn signal stuff. Then you got a plug on the bottom side for the cruise control stuff. So you just unplug those 2 plugs, and then you can replace that. Now for your wiper stalk, you have a plug up here, and then you have a plug on the back of it as well. You won't have 2 plugs unless you have a wagon. The wagon uses 2 plugs because it has wiper controls on this as well. If you have a sedan, you won't have these wiper controls, and you only have 1 plug over here. When you get done, straighten your steering wheel out. Use your key to unlock it if you need to. I don't know why mine's locked back. Must have bumped it or something. And now it should be easy for me to put the bottom one in place first, put the 2 screws in it. Sometimes people mess these up. They tighten the 2 screws on the bottom too tight. You can see the cracks in the mounts on those. So if you're at a salvage yard, you may want to grab one of these collars if yours is missing the mounting holes. If you got the mounting holes like you see here and they're cracked, you may want to put epoxy on them to strengthen them up. Let the epoxy dry and set before you install it, because these are cracked, probably going to break before too long. But you just want to snug those screws down. Don't tighten the screws too tight. And when you put this on, you want to push this towards the front of the car before you snug those screws down, just to make sure that the steering wheel doesn't rub against this and squeak and make noise. When you get the collar back up, the slots in this rubber grommet slot around there, so that's in place. You want to go on the other side here and work that around there so that those are in place as well. And you have your dust boots in place. I'm going to put the screws in the bottom of the collar. So I just snugged this screw down. I pushed my fingertip on it to push a little bit forward when I snug the screws down. Now I have to channel the top of this in. So right here, it has 2 hooks. Those hooks hook right into the bottom collar right here. You got one on each side. And then this little hole here catches the guides here. You see those little guides here? You got one here, and then the top falls in place, and it has the screw hole so you can screw them in. Sometimes people don't know how to get to those screws, and they just pry these things off and break those top pieces. And when you put these small screws in there, just snug them down. They don't have to be tight. So let me go ahead and set this in place. Hook it over there, come down, and get my rubber grommets to go around the slots. So I worked it in on both sides, made sure the guides were set down in there, the rubber boots are across it, and I'm all the way in. Now I need to fish my screws up through those 2 bottom holes and get those screwed in. A lot easier to get them screwed in. After you get your collar screwed back in place, you want to go ahead and sit in the seat and put the steering wheel back where you want it. Now when you have this down, be careful. If you get in and out of the car, you don't hit this with your leg. People break those off, especially on the 70 series cars. So you lower it, put the steering wheel back where you want it, get the steering wheel in the position, and then you pull this up to lock the steering wheel back in place, and you're all done. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.